I'd like to welcome everyone back to So-Called Experts. As you can see by the title, today I'm going to talk about the best player in the major leagues right now. This is episode 35. I want to thank everyone out there who's been with me from the beginning. Thank you for your support. I truly appreciate it. So let's get into it. Best player in baseball. I mean, we're in Southern California, so I know there's a lot of Matt Kemp fans out there. I've been to 2 Dodger games in the last month, and every time he comes up, all you hear is the MVP chant, or should I say Chem VP chant. I mean, it's great. You know, the fans are truly behind him. All you Dodger fans are all riled up right now after Magic Johnson bought the team. You guys are off to one of the best starts in franchise history, in first place, one of the best teams in the National League. You know, everything is on Matt Kemp's side. And luckily for him, Josh Hamilton's in the American League, because right now I got to go with Josh Hamilton. Ain't no one killing the ball like this guy is right now. We're 33 games into the season. He is not only leading all of the Triple Crown categories, but he's dominating. He's the only player still batting over 400. Now, Matt Kemp's had a couple of off games recently, so his average has actually dropped down to 375. But then when you look at home runs, Josh Hamilton is 18 already. I think he's only played 31 games. 18 home runs in 31 games. That's just out of this world. That's ridiculous. He's leading the American League in RBIs. I think he has 41. You know, the next closest in the American League is like 29. So he's like 12 up. And then, you know, he's leading every category. Runs, RBIs, slugging, everything. The only category in hitting that he's not leading is hits. And he's only 2 behind Derek Jeter, who's had like 15 more at-bats. Now, shout out to Derek Jeter, still an all-time great. But you know there's no way he's going to keep this pace throughout the whole season. He's a little older. You know, Josh Hamilton is still only 30. And yes, I said only 30. You know, 30 is like a really good age to be right now. So with Matt Kemp, you know, the argument is who's the best hitter and who would you take right now if you had one pick? If you could only choose one hitter in all of baseball, who would it be? And the argument for Kemp is, and it's a good argument, is can Josh Hamilton stay healthy? And not only healthy, but, you know, what's kept him from being elite, because he got drafted way back in 1999. You know, he didn't make his major league debut till 2007 or 2006, and that was because of drug problems or issues, you know. So with injuries and drugs and these different substances that have plagued him throughout his career, is he someone you can rely on? You know, there's a reason why he's in a contract year this year and hasn't got that big payday that he deserves, because of these problems that he's had off the field. Can you trust him? Is he a franchise player? Can he lead your team to the promised land? You know, he's gone back-to-back World Series, hasn't won it. Not his fault. He's played great. But how long can he do it? How long can he stay clean? You know, whereas Matt Kemp has been a great citizen. You know, he's been a great ambassador for baseball. He's been the perfect face of a franchise. You know, everyone in LA loves him. You know, and he's younger than Hamilton. Hamilton's 30. Kemp's only 27. So he has more of a future. And if he's already starting to blossom at 27, you know, what is he going to do in a year and in 2 years and 3 years when he gets into his prime? You know, because he's only been in the league like 6 years. You know, he came in 2006. And I remember seeing him as a rookie and thinking this kid has everything it takes to be great. I remember one of his first games, he hit a home run in his rookie year. And I told my dad, this kid's going to be it right here, because it looked easy to him. You know, it was a very smooth, fluid motion. It didn't even look like he was trying, and the ball went 400 feet. So this kid has everything. You know, now, is it just them two? Are they the only 2 great players? You know, there's other great hitters in baseball. We still have Pujols, but, I mean, come on, you can't take him over these 2 guys right now with what he's doing. 1 home run all season. You know, you got Miguel Cabrera, you got Prince, you got Adrian Gonzalez. You know, you still have Ryan Howard, who's injured. You know, you got young superstars like Hayward. You know, you got the new kid, Bryce Harper, coming up. But none of those guys quite measure up yet. And one of the things with a lot of those guys I just mentioned, a lot of them are like first basemen. You know, which I used to be a first baseman, but I got to be realistic. And it's not the most important position. It's probably one of the easier positions to transition to. You know, I mean, if you're a first baseman, you don't got to be the best athlete on the field. The one thing about Hamilton and Kemp is they're outfielders. You know, Kemp's a straight center fielder, and Hamilton plays center and left. You know, he rotates depending on who's out there. They're both great athletes. They're both steal bases. They both hit doubles, triples. You know, they're all over the baseball field. They're very exciting, which is another good thing about them, is they draw fans. Because they're not, you know, the guy who's just standing there waiting for the ball to come to them. They're on the outfield making great highlight plays. You know, they bring excitement to your team. But you can't go wrong with either one of these two guys being the franchise player, because they're going to bring nothing but attention. They're going to put you on SportsCenter every night. You're going to be on there. You're going to see them in the top 10 plays. You're going to see them in plays of the week. And that's nothing but more notoriety to your team. But me, who am I going to go with? My number one pick, despite everything I just said about Hamilton being injury prone and everything else, to me it's like this. If he stays with Texas, he's my number one pick. Because I think that environment, they've had a coach who's had substance abuse problems, and they've dealt with it with him. So now I think they're the best team equipped to handle Josh Hamilton and these problems. I think they provide a great atmosphere for him to keep doing what he's doing. Imagine him going to New York or LA or Miami, one of these big market teams. That's just trouble right there, because that atmosphere is just not going to work with someone who is weak when it comes to off the field problems. So with that being said, I say Hamilton with a very, very close Matt Kemp, and then after that's a fall off, I go with someone like Cabrera, because I love Miguel Cabrera as a hitter. A couple years ago I was saying Joe Mauer, because as a former pitcher, I love catchers. I think catcher is the most important position in baseball, which is why I was a huge Pudge Rodriguez fan, because you're involved in every play. You call every pitch. You dictate how the game rolls. But Mauer, I mean, he's fallen off recently. He led the league in hitting a couple years ago. Ever since then, it's been going, he's been dropping. His power is almost non-existent. I think he had like 12 or 15 home runs last year. That ain't going to cut it as a number one franchise player. Now as far as pitchers go, you got someone like Strasburg, Verlander, you got Holiday, you got Kershaw, you got great pitchers. But me personally, I don't think a pitcher should ever win the MVP award. Last year Verlander won it. I didn't agree. He only plays once every 5th game. Now he contributes more to that one game than any other player who only comes up to bat 4 times a game. But it's only one game. If you're Hamilton or Kemp, you contribute, all week. You play in almost every game of the week. You contribute somehow compared to only one game a week. So for that said, I'm not going to put any pitchers in this category. They're on their own. They have the Cy Young, and I give them that award, and I think it's a very important award, but they're not MVP candidates as far as I'm going to say. So for so-called experts, let me know what you think. Are you guys going with Cam VP, or are you going with Josh Hamilton, or do you got someone else? You're still throwing Derek Jeter in there. Keep following me, keep supporting me, support your troops. Don't forget to support my collaboration for all you veterans out there. That's vhvtv.org. A lot of great information for all you guys out there. For me, I'm out.